So anyway, there you go. Born and raised in Mississippi, and living here in Georgia and loving it.
So you're a bulldog at heart, you know.
Yeah,
as a
say
Mississippian.
Mississippi State Bulldog.
Okay.
I got a fever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A fever.
Fever.
And the only prescription is more cowbell. That's a Christopher Walken, Saturday Night Live. You remember that?
No.
Oh, Google that.
Dog,
No,
I'm not
YouTube
60.
that.
I'm not 60. I don't watch Saturday Night Live. What are we doing?
Gosh, it's Christopher Walken. Anyway, look up more cow. Just Google more cowbell.
More cowbells.
And a cool video.
Okay.
Gotcha. So. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Episode 1. Episode 0.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, episode 0. So what are we doing here, Brad?
Well,
we're just sitting and talking. Aren't
We're sitting in a shed right now. And
it's a he shed or man shed. What do we call this?
you know, it has different names for different times of the day. By day, it is a work shed,
yes,
an office, if you will. By night, it is either a man cave or a she shed.
Oh,
depending on if I'm here or if Lisa's here.
So we share
the
shed.
Yeah, I'd say I am out here the majority of the time.
Golly.
But yeah, no, we
shed
are
sharing.
Shed sharing, exactly.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Exactly.
Better be careful. So that is cool. We're sitting in this shed, and we're having a conversation. We decided we wanted to record it because what we found is that when we get together, connect, talk, share life, that's to our understanding, just almost out of nowhere. Something pops up
Boom.
In the conversation, and we go, whoa, that was from God. That was like a God moment. Mm-hmm. That was like I just got hit with a sermon. I got served a sermon, kind of on the side.
On the side, if you will.
Exactly. So that's why we're calling this Sermons on the Side.
Sermons on the side. I love it.
And
sermon or sermons on the side?
I don't know. What do you think? Plural? Singular?
I kind of am digging plural.
Yeah,
Sermons
I think we're going to go
side.
plural. Yeah, let's do it. Sermons.
Wow.
On the side. Should we be hip and make that on the logo, put it as a Z?
Oh.
Sermons. No, that'd be lame.
Yeah, no, I'm out on that.
That would be lame. But what we think is that this happens all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we miss it. And I think a lot of people miss it. So we're trying to get a little more attuned to it, where we'll catch it and then we'll see it and hear it and share it and maybe get something out of it, grow a little bit. So that's why we're recording it.
I love it.
To see if it can be a help to anybody else.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't even say we would do this, but give us the 60-second elevator pitch. Oh, hey, how are you, sir? What's your name?
My name's Richard.
Oh.
I am a 60-year-old father of...
Whoa.
Yeah,
Time out.
Whoa. Hey.
There's an age limit in the shed, bro.
You just went Kevin Hart on me. I don't know if you ever saw that clip. Him and Don Cheadle.
Yes. Whoa.
So this November will be the 60th anniversary of my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you wear it well, my friend. All right, 60 years old.
60 years old. I am the father of 3, stepdad to 2, grandfather of 3.
Wow.
And I live in South Georgia with my wife and my mother-in-law and her lapdog Bella live with us.
Okay.
And we're just one big happy family.
I love it.
And I'm a chaplain. That's actually what I do for a living. Is I serve with a company that sends chaplains into businesses to care for employees. So I travel all over the state of Georgia doing that. And then on the side, I'm a part of a men's addiction recovery ministry. You and I are friends. It's kind of how we connected.
Yep.
And Rabid Braves.
Come on.
Cowboys. Is that going to be
next?
Is that a problem?
No, it's not a problem. But I mean, I'm not a Cowboys fan.
You can just hear listeners turning us off at this moment.
Maybe so.
And and a Southerner learning to appreciate NHL hockey.
Okay.
Just for the record.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Can't
Don't
teach you
understand it.
Yeah, right.
But it sure is fun to watch.
something. Yeah, playoff hockey is some of
It's
the best.
So anyway, there you go. Born and raised in Mississippi, and living here in Georgia and loving it.
So you're a bulldog at heart, you know.
Yeah,
as a
say
Mississippian.
Mississippi State Bulldog.
Okay.
I got a fever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A fever.
Fever.
And the only prescription is more cowbell. That's a Christopher Walken, Saturday Night Live. You remember that?
No.
Oh, Google that.
Dog,
no,
I'm not
YouTube
60.
that.
I'm not 60. I don't watch Saturday Night Live. What are we doing?
Gosh, it's Christopher Walken. Anyway, look up more cow. Just Google more cowbell.
More cowbells.
And
Okay.
a cool video will come
Okay,
up. Yeah.
gotcha.
So, all right, that
Awesome.
was more than an elevator pitch.
Yeah, well, it was a sermon on the side, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was. Happens all too often. How about yourself? What would the people need to know
Oh, man.
about Brad Williams?
Well, I am a 32-year-old father of two, also in South Georgia. My wife and I are still living in our first house with our two incredible kids and two dogs, and it's getting a little cramped, but we are blessed. All of our family is still in Columbus, and we love it. I'm in the corporate world. I work for a big box retailer. Mm-hmm. We love the color orange, and we do not like the color blue. So I'll let you kind of just infer who we support around here. Also, a big sports guy. You and I have connected a lot about that.
Yes.
Love baseball, football, soccer. But yeah, you gotta get me on the NHL kick. I will watch a playoff hockey game, but that's about it. I couldn't tell you much else.
Yeah, cool stuff, man.
But yeah, no, I love the Lord, and I have a background in ministry, and then a lot of my story took me away from that, and that's where you and I really sunk our teeth into friendship and into pursuing Christ together on this road of recovery, and but I love finding Christ in the mundane, and I love just looking up from a crazy day, changing a diaper, mowing the grass, filling up your tank of gas for the third time this week, it seems, and then all of a sudden the Lord hits you with just a sermon that speaks right to your heart. It's a sermon for you, and and so I'm excited to have conversations with you and maybe with others as we bring into this, and to search out those moments together.
Yes, indeed. I love A.W. Tozier.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh,
you
yeah.
heard about
my
Tozier.
grandmother, who is now seated at the left hand of the Father, not the right hand. Let's relax a little bit. But she's an incredible woman, very instrumental in my faith. A.W. was. She imparted that to me, just a love for him and his theology and his writings.
I think people sleep on Tozier.
Not in my
when
house.
it comes to dead guy authors.
Oh yeah, right.
C.S. Lewis gets all the pub, or Oswald Chambers, most first highs. But Tozier, he was sneaky good.
Sneaky assassin, dog.
And man, no doubt. Hey, I was thinking about an interesting story I heard just really a year or so ago from a friend of mine. And I wanted to kind of engage that. I want to get your thoughts on it. Because it was really trippy, right? So are you familiar with how, and I know it's in Georgia and a couple of places around here and up in Charleston, South Carolina, and on the coast in Savannah, a little bit here in Columbus, where there's this thing about finding old buildings and claiming they're haunted and then selling tickets to walk people through them.
Okay.
Like ghost tours.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I have, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been on one?
No, I haven't.
I have
Okay.
been scammed for $30 for a ghost tour.
Okay.
Right?
Well, first of all, did you know you were being scammed before?
I kind of did.
Okay,
Eyes
that's
wide
fair
open,
play,
just
then.
walking in. I'm with family. Everybody wants to do something different.
Support local. Yeah, you're fine.
So anyway, I'm talking to a friend. Where I'm having this conversation with a friend from LaGrange, a little town, just north of us here, and this friend was saying, "Oh yeah, I went on a ghost tour in Savannah." This friend says, and she goes, "So we're in and Savannah is supposedly the most haunted city in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, Savannah. Did you know this?
I didn't. I know.
Just be warned.
Okay.
It's so much nonsense, right? All it is just, some urban legends and some stuff, and people have fun with it, right? So anyway, this friend of mine goes on a ghost tour.
Okay.
They stop at an old, kind of an abandoned cemetery outside of an old church that's now a museum, right? So they're all standing among the gravestones, these rickety, like falling apart, crumbling gravestones.
Talk about a waiting room.
I know.
My word.
So they're standing there, and they're listening to the tour guide give some spiel about, Aunt Mabel, who still roams passed away 100 years ago and still roams the cemetery. Again, bunch of nonsense, but everybody's kind of having fun with it. She's standing there. She's kind of towards the back. Nobody sees her. She glances onto the ground, and she sees a little. She thinks it's a rock laying on the ground, but what it was a part of the tombstone that had, kind of chipped off, and it's laying on the ground, and so she thinks that's an interesting color and shape of a piece of, some rock or whatever. She says, "I think that'd be a cool souvenir." So she reaches down, grabs the rock, and as in her words, and this is her, I'm quoting her, "As I'm sliding this into my pocket, it occurs to me, maybe it's not the smartest thing in the world to steal a piece of a broken tombstone from a cemetery in the most haunted city in Georgia."
Hey, that's
And I'm there. That's
right.
what.
Yeah,
that's
that checks
wisdom.
out. Yeah,
so
checks out.
she's telling the story. Several of us are standing in a circle hearing this story, and so she immediately withdraws the rock in her hand out of her pocket, throws it to the ground, and proceeds to kind of dance a jig, trying to get the bad juju off of her. Right?
Okay.
And we are hilarious. I mean, we're just busting out laughing. And we're just going, that is so funny. Because it's stupid to think that about the haunting and the ghosts and stuff like that. B, probably wasn't right to steal a rock, but who cares? But it just all got on her at that moment. This is probably something I should not carry around with me. I'm throwing it down, and now I'm gonna, try to shake it off.
Yeah.
And so we're just laughing. And then later that day, as I'm driving home, I'm thinking about the story because I can't wait to tell the story to my wife when I get home and all my friends. And then I think, and then it hits me. And then it's like the Lord starts preaching a sermon on the side to me in that moment. And I thought, how many times in my life have I grabbed something and carried it with me after an experience or an encounter or just something that happened in my life, and I ended up picking something up and carrying it with me that I have no business continuing to carry. And I thought that happens too often. And I think it happens to a lot of us. We just pick up stuff, right? From all the different things that we go through, man, we pick up thoughts and we start saying things. We start forming a certain attitudes or mentalities or philosophies. And what's it based on? It's based on something that happened, something that was done or not done, something that was said or not said. And we, without even realizing it, reached down and picked something up and slid it into our pocket. And we're just going on with life, carrying all this stuff.
Wow.
Carrying all this stuff. And we were never intended to carry it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I love that last point that you just made. We were never intended to carry it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just that visual of picking something up. It reminds me so much of the pressure that I feel so many people today feel in this kind of social media age of like wanting to catalog your life and wanting to make sure that you attain all of the whether it's stuff or fame or experiences or money or like whatever, and it's all about gathering. It's all about what assets I can put in my pocket. When at the end of the day, I'm reminded by that story of, when everybody is coming to Jerusalem and Jesus is there and they turn the corner, and I'm just imagining like all of these Pharisees and Sadducees are just pouring just tons of money and gold and stuff into the collection box, and this poor woman just drops in 2 little copper pennies. And Jesus looks at his disciples and said, man, that right there is what it means to fully surrender, to let go, take everything out of your pockets and to just trust me.
Oh,
you know?
No doubt. Gosh, that's good. That story has always been very moving to me. I think for the obvious reasons, but boy, when you really assess your own stuff, I mean, that idea, that what you just said about I have nothing, I am emptied and divested, and all I have I will give. Oh gosh, that's good.
Yeah.
There's a verse that comes to my mind when I think about the emptying of the stuff that we've picked up along the way. And it's in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Verse 1 of Hebrews chapter 12 is awesome because it talks about the great cloud of witnesses. Because he had just talked about all the heroes of the faith moments before. And then he says, there we're surrounded by all these people. And because of that, verse 1 says, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. So I think that many of us who in our hearts want to follow after God and run the race that God has planned for us, and we want to engage that, but it's like we're wearing cargo shorts, which is a problem anyway, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that doesn't please the Lord, I don't think. But there's
so many generational
stuff, right?
things that we're talking about right now. This is awesome.
That's right.
I've owned a pair of cargo shorts since 2004, third grade.
But imagine if we're at the starting blocks of a race and we're wearing cargo shorts, and
filled.
All these different pockets. There's like 20 pockets, right? And they're all filled with excess, unnecessary, sometimes actual problem stuff.
Yeah.
And we're gonna run, and we're gonna be burdened down. We're gonna be away. We're gonna hurt ourselves. It's just all. I mean, so I think that if we're honest, we could all say, look, there are so many things. If I could just go back and not pick that up. If I could go back and not pick that one thing up, or that, for some of us is a list of things. And that's where there are just times, and you and I know this, we've experienced this together in our own walks, and we've helped each other out at different points, and there are times when you just feel stuck. I know I do, and I'm struggling. I'm like, why can't I break out? And I think God is just trying to say, check your pockets, man. Just check it. There's a lot of stuff that you carry and that you don't need to be, that you had no business carrying, right? Not intended to. So, the process I think that we've learned in our recovery journey, each of us, and then together as friends, is that it is possible to empty our pockets. It's a lot of work, though, or it takes intentionality, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. because it's much more natural just to keep sliding back, or to reach back and go back and pick it back up after you've thought you might have emptied your pocket out. But I found that when I engaged in a community around me that wants to help, I can lay aside the weight.
Yep.
And there's hope for guys like me. So,
amen, brother.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you, like, all right, so a listener is vibing with this, and then what do they do? But I think you just perfectly laid that out. I think it starts. We say this every Tuesday that change takes place in biblical community.
exactly.
And walking with a group of believers through these hard times, not running away from them, but leaning into it. And sometimes you need to walk up to somebody with cargo shorts filled with 20 different pockets and say, can you help me take these out?
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Could not have said it better. And at least for me, it was impossible to empty my pockets out in isolation. I would have preferred, honestly, if I could do that privately, just between me and God, in the old prayer closet, or maybe the prayer shed.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It just never worked for me, and I would bet that it probably won't work for any of us. So, community is the key. And I just love how you said it. Going up, finding somebody you trust and say, look, I've got some stuff that I don't talk to anybody about, and I'd really rather not talk, but I need to deal with it. So can you help me empty this stuff out? And then that's doable.
I love it. All right, leave us with with something, Richard. I don't know. Leave us with
okay. All right, just a
what are the options right here at the end?
All right, there's an obnoxious observation.
Obnoxious observation. Okay.
All right. Hot take.
Okay.
That I think people might disagree with me on.
Oh boy.
You
Am
ready?
I going to disagree with you?
Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know.
Depending on how hot of a take this
Here
is.
it is. Umbrellas are lame.
All right, hold on.
Hate umbrellas.
Just let
hate work.
Let it sit there for a second.
Just let that
Umbrellas, weird word by the way, are lame.
Yeah.
Okay. Any specific reason that you've chosen
and I'm just
this
gonna
adjective?
say I heard that statement made on a podcast I listened to a long time ago, and it
really stuck
resonated
with you.
with me.
Yeah,
It's
deep in
I was
your
like,
soul.
that guy's speaking my
Yeah,
language.
that's you picked that up and put it in your pocket,
All
haven't
right.
you?
Yeah, it's just I did. See, now I feel attacked. So, just the mechanics of it, such a pain. I know
Right.
it's simple, but during a windy rainstorm, not simple.
Have you ever owned an umbrella that is fully 100% working?
Never.
Like every umbrella I
Never.
own has something wrong with it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is so good.
That's a great word to use then, because all umbrellas are lame. There's just something. I don't know.
And it just, the time you're trying to, you end up getting your shoulders wet. Maybe you're getting something out of the car after. It's because you got to get out of the car, maybe reach in. You got a kid. You're trying to.
Oh, bro, kids with umbrellas? No, sir.
The rhythm of, sometimes the umbrella walking in the rain with your wife, there's a romantic element to that. But the rhythm is difficult. I mean, you're trying to get the steps right. You're trying to, the height, there might be a height thing for a person like yourself. Should we have mentioned that there's like a 3-foot difference in our height?
Dude, being fully remote is wild, because then when you finally meet people that you've worked with for 2 years and they're 4'9" and I'm 6'4", it's just an awesome moment. But
I
yes.
personally am slightly below average height at 5'8".
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I look up to Brad in many ways. So seriously, but everything about the umbrella experience. Then when you get where you're going, what are you going to do with your umbrella? It's dripping everywhere.
Something's getting wet.
Yeah.
It's either your car, or once you get inside and you're shaking it off, I guess.
So my wife always says, do you want to use the umbrella? I said, no, I'd rather get drenched, run through
it.
to the front door, whatever.
Run to the Father.
This is me, man.
You know what? Okay, leave us a comment if you agree with Richard umbrellas are lame. Leave us a comment if you disagree. Yes. And
come at me.
We are going to get more disagreement.
You're probably right. It's not the most practical thing, I believe.
I love it. Sermons on the side.
Yes.
I am about 20% that this worked because the computer went to sleep an hour ago.
Okay.
And
yeah. Well, there's a long-winded sermon on the side.
This is the first take. It was
fun,
dude, so much fun. All right, we're gonna see if this is working. Great conversation.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I love talking with you. I love hearing your thoughts and everything. And I'm hoping, as you are, that our friends who might listen to this might start being attuned to or tuned into the sermons on the side that God might be bringing their way. Love it.
And we want to hear those stories.
So. Absolutely.
All right. Until next time, next week or bi-weekly, TBD. See y'all soon. Dude, I am sweaty, bro. I'm dying. I picked the worst day to wear sweats.